Good morning, students. In previous lecture, we discussed about the staining methods and types of stains and gram staining method. Now, in this lecture, I am Pradeep Hirapure going to discuss about the acid fast staining, endospore staining, capsule staining, and flagella staining. So, first of all, we are going to discuss about the acid fast staining. Student, acid fast stainings, also known as the Jels-Nelson staining, because Jels-Nelson stain was first described by two German doctors, Franz Jels in 1859, and who is a bacteriologist, and Friedrich Neslen in 1854, who is pathologist. And that's why this acid fast staining also known as a Jels-Nelson staining. In this type of some bacteria resist decolorization by both acid and alcohol, and hence they are referred as a acid fast organism. For example, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. This staining technique divides bacteria into the two groups, namely acid fast and non-acid fast. This procedure is extensively used in the diagnosis of tuberculosis and leprosy, because the Mycobacterium tuberculosis and Mycobacterium leprae, this bacteria having a mycolic acid in the cell wall, and these two bacteria considered as a acid fast bacteria. And this Mycobacterium tuberculosis is the most important of this group, and as it is responsible for this disease called as a tuberculosis, commonly we call the TB, along with some other genus. And such type of bacteria we need to identify, we need to diagnose in a laboratory, and at that time we perform this acid fast staining for the acid fast bacillia. Dear students, when we going to discuss about the principle of this method, you know very well the mycobacterial cell wall contain waxy substance composed of mycolic acid, and these are beta hydroxycarboxylic acid with chain length up to 90 carbon atom. The property of acid fastness is related to the carbon chain of mycolic acid found in any particular species, and that's why this carbon stain actually take up by the acid fast bacteria, and it appear, or we can observe this bacteria in a specific color under the microscope. Now in this acid fast staining process, we required the primary and modern stainings with carbon fusine, which is red in color, and as a decolorizing agent we required the acid alcohol content 3% HCl and 95% ethanol, or 20% H2SO4 we can use as a decolorization of acid alcohol. And third one is we required the counter stain with methylene blue. So methylene blue is a secondary stain, and after completion of the procedure, your acid fast cells or acid fast bacteria appear in a red color, and if the bacterial culture is not acid fast, then it appear in a blue color. Now we're going to discuss about the procedure of this staining method. First of all, dear students, we make a smear and air dry it and heat fix it. After heat fixing, we add the carbon stain on the smear. So in this way we flood the smear with carbol stain. Then after carbol is a lipid soluble phenolic compounds which is able to penetrate the cell wall, and cover flooded smear with filter paper. Steam for 10 minutes and add more carbol stain as needed. After that, cool the slides, rinse with water, and flood slide with the acid alcohol for 15 seconds. The acid alcohol contains 3% HCl and 95% ethanol, or you can decolorize with 20% H2SO4 also. Tilt the slide 45 degree over the sink and add acid alcohol drop by drop, until the red color stops streaming from the smear. After that, you have to rinse your slide with the distilled water, and then add methylene blue stain as a counter stain, and this stain added blue color to non-acid fast cells, and this blue stain on smear for 1 minute. After 1 minute, again you have to rinse the slide with the help of tap water and blot dry it, and use oil immersion objective to view the slide under the microscope. So already we completed the procedure. You can see here the diagrammatic representation of acid fast staining procedure. First of all, cover the smear with carboxyl stain, and then steam over boiling water for 8 minutes. Add additional stain if boils off. So after then second one is the after slide has cooled, and decolorize with acid alcohol for 15 minutes, uh, for 20 seconds, 15 to 20 seconds, and then again you have to stop the decolorization action of acid rinsing briefly with water. Then after we add counter stain with the methylene blue for 30 seconds or 15 seconds, and after that rinse the slide with the water to remove the excess methylene blue, and blot dry with the blotting paper and examine directly under the oil emulsion objective. You can see on the slide there is a two bacteria, acid fast positive bacillus and acid fast negative bacillus. In the first step, cell on slides both are unstained, but whenever we add the primary stain, that is a carbofusion red, so both the bacterial cell appear in red color. After that, the third step, in which we decolorize with the help of HCl and alcohol combination. So acid fast bacillus stain retain the primary stain, that is a carbofusion red, and that's why it appear in a red color. But in acid fast bacilli, the red color or primary stain carbofusin completely removed from the bacterial cell wall, and it appear in a white. Then counter stain, when we add on acid fast positive bacteria, but that methylene blue actually peripherally located, and after that when we washed with the water, so all the methylene blue molecules wash out with this water, and primer stain remain as it is into the bacteria, and that's why acid fast positive bacillus bacterial cell appear in a red color, and in acid fast negative bacterial cells uh, appear in a blue color. Because so we can say the positive acid fast positive bacteria retain the primary stain carbosfusin red, and acid fast negative bacilli unable to retain the primary stain but retain secondary stain, and that's why that bacterial cells appear in a blue color. This one is the microscopic examination of slide. So such type red pinkish color bacteria we can observe under the microscope. So these are the acid fast bacteria. Now dear students, one another important staining methods routinely performed in a laboratory, and that method is a staining of endospore. Before going to discuss about the procedure and requirement of endospore staining, you should know about what is actually the endospore. So dear students, you know very well what is actually the endospore. Endospore nothing but the morphological characteristics are developed in a bacterial cell whenever that bacteria facing the unfavorable condition. So whenever the unfavorable condition occur, at that time the some bacterial species having ability to develop the endospore. Okay. So in unfavorable condition, the endospore, some bacteria develop the endospore, and that's why uh, we try to identify whether that bacteria is endosporic bacteria or not. And this endospore are highly resistant and metabolically inactive forms. The morphology of the bacterial endospore is best observed in unstained wet film under the phase contrast microscope, where they appear as a large refractile oval spherical bodies within the bacterial mother cells and free from the bacteria. Different staining techniques are available for staining the endospore of bacteria. A modified gel Nelson stain, in which weak 0.25% sulfuric acid is used as a decolorizer, and yield a red spore in a blue stain bacteria. Lipid granules also stain red, appear like a small spherical spores. But we're going to discuss about here the malachite green stain for endospore. So with the help of malachite green stain, how we perform the staining process, endospore staining process, we will discuss now. So this method of endospore staining modified by Ashby in 1938, and in this endospore staining we prepare again the smear by as per the standard protocol, and in this endospore staining we required the cell suspension of endospore producing bacteria, and malachite green, and secondary stain safranin. Now dear students, I would like to explain you the procedure of this endospore staining. The first step is take a clean grease free slide and prepares thick smear on a slide. The smear is heated and heat fixed by passing the slide from the flame for about 25 times, and the slide is allowed to cool. Further, the slide is treated with malachite green stain and allow it to react for about 10 minutes. So after the smear preparation, you have to add the malachite green as a primer stain on the surface of smear, and this slide then kept on water bath, and we apply the heat, and heat act as a mordant. And here what happen, when we heat the water, and due to the water vapors, these lights also heated, and whatever the bacteria is there, so that bacteria, if having a endospore, so that compactness of endospore start to lose due to the moist heating. And you can heat this slide for 10 minutes, and after that you have to rinse your slide with the help of tap water, and to excess the to remove the excess malachite green molecules, and with the help of tap water we can remove all the excess molecules of stain. And then you have to add the secondary stain, that is a safranin, on the smear, okay, and allow it to react for 30 seconds. And then after 30 seconds the slide is washed again with the tap water and air dried and observed under oil emulsion objective. When we observe the slide under the microscope, we can observe here the pink color cells having dotted green color body, and if in the pink background or in the pink color cell there is a green body appear, it indicates that this bacteria having endospore. And we consider the in this way we can classify, we can categorize the bacteria in two groups: endosporic bacteria and non-endosporic bacteria. And that's why this endospore staining again act as a differential staining, because in this staining we use two type of stain, malachite green and safranin, and on the basis of this staining process we can distinguish whether the bacteria is endosporic bacteria or not. You can see here the more clear result of the endospore staining. This one is the cell, and in middle there is a green color body. So this green color nothing but the endospore. Now we are going to discuss about the capsule staining. Now the capsules serve as a protective material by showing down or preventing the penetration of chemical and body juice. And this capsule actually made up of the extrapolymeric substances secreted by the bacterial cell, that is a polysaccharide mostly. And this capsule is very compact in nature, and that's why the externally, when whatever the factor, it may be the biotic or any chemicals, they are unable to penetrate inside the bacterial cell wall, and that's why most of the capsule containing bacteria shows resistance against the most of antibiotics. Now when we're going to discuss about the basic principle of capsule staining. So the purpose of the capsule stain is to reveal the presence of bacteria. The water soluble capsule of some bacterial cell is often difficult to see by standard simple staining. And after the gram stain, the capsule staining method were developed to visualize the capsule and yield consist consist and reliable result. Capsule may appear as a clear halo when a fresh sample is stained by the gram or Lessman stain. Negative staining using Indian ink or nigrosin. So chemically the capsule material is polysaccharide, glycoprotein or polypeptide. Capsule staining is more difficult than other type of differential staining process because the capsular material are water soluble and may be dislodged or removed with vigorous washing. Bacterial smear should not be heated because the resultant cell may be shrink and may create a clear zone around the organism and artifacts that can be mistaken for capsule. The capsule is non-ionic so that the dyes commonly used will not be bind to it, and two dyes, one is acidic and one is basic, are used to stain the background and the cell wall respectively. When we are going to discuss about the procedure for positive staining of smear, make a smear from colony of S. pneumonia on clean grease on clean grease free glass slide and allow it to air dry, and put the smear on slide rack and flooded smear with the crystal violet. Allow it to stain for 5 to 7 minutes and then wash the smear with 20% copper sulfate solution and blot it dry. Observe the smear first under the low power objective, it is 10x, and then under the oil emulsion objective, it is 100x. In the culture smear, the capsule is seen as a light blue in contrast to the deep purple color of the cells. You can see whenever we observe the slide under the microscope, we can observe here such type of picture. This one is the capsule, which is colorless, and this one is the purple background. So these are the capsulated bacteria looked under the microscope in such a way that, and one more technique, that is the flagellus technique. Okay, so now we're going to discuss about the flagella staining, because in our nature whatever the bacteria is there, so that bacteria can move from one location to the another location due to the presence of locomotory organ, and that is flagella. So due to the presence of flagella, bacteria can move, and that bacteria known as a motile bacteria. So basically this flagella staining also considered as a differential staining. Why? Because this staining method able to distinguish whether the bacteria is motile or non-motile. So so many different types of bacterial species having flagella and its arrangement. So different there is a different types of arrangement. Some bacteria having single flagella, some bacteria having multiple flagella, some bacteria having two flagella, and the location of flagella also vary from species to species, and that's why we try to analyze the bacteria for the flagella analysis. Okay, and for that purpose we should perform the flagella staining procedure in a laboratory, and then we can observed the morphology of flagella as well as the pattern of flagella on the bacterial cell. So bacteria have two types of locomotory organ, and that are flagella and pili. Flagella are the thin and hair-like structure made up of protein called as flagellin, and its sizes ranges from 20 micrometer to 200 micron in length. Flagella is one of the most important locomotory organ, and it is mainly made up of three parts: basal body, filaments, and hook. So flagella are generally present in rod-shaped bacteria, and very few cocci-shaped bacteria possesses flagella. As a flagella are very thin and hair-like, they cannot be seen easily under the microscope. So special technique is designed to increase the thickness of flagella as well as stain it. Due to this technique, we can observe structure of flagella easily under the microscope. So we required the flagellated cell culture slants, Lefson stains, and 1% methylene blue and distilled water for this staining methods. Now what when we are going to discuss about the procedure of flagella staining, so there is a first step in which we take 2-hour-old flagellated cells culture slants and add 2 to 3 drops of sterile distilled water in the slant with the help of sterile pipette. The distilled water is added slowly without the disturbing the growth of cells. After that, we add distilled water, incubated the slant for 20 minutes. Then take a drop of suspension from the slant and place the drop on clean slide which is kept in a slanting position. The drop should not flow slowly from one end of the slide to the end of slide to avoid folding of flagella on cell. Allow smear to air dry, and after air drying the slide is flooded with the Lefson stain till a thin film of shiny surface appear. After this, give a gentle stream of water and wash the slide with the help of water, and treat the slide with 1% methylene blue and allow it to react for 1 minute, and after 1 minute again you have to wash the slide with the help of tap water, and then air dry it, or with the help of blotting paper you can blot the slide, and then you can observe the slide under the microscope. So in this way we perform the flagellar stainings in a laboratory, and we here stop. Thank you.